Hello and welcome. We're going to do another run through of rewatch of the video. See what I was trying to do, see what I was trying to achieve, how I wrote it or how I tried to write it to achieve that, what happened and how it turned out. And if you're watching this and thinking, hey, he's wearing the same clothes as he did for the Wolf Horror one, well, I'm recording it back to back. And maybe the next one as well. Or maybe I just don't have many clothes. Aha. Anyway, so Birds at the Groves. Terror above the groves. I'd finished writing the Wolf Horror one. And I knew I kind of wanted to continue the Storybook Woods one. I knew what the next one was going to be. It was going to be the Conrad. And kind of how that was going to go. But the third one in that, I had sort of four or five for that storyline at this point in time. The third one of those was going to be at the location from the Tremors inspired location, Utopia. That's going to come in season 3. So obviously I won't get that till November. So it's kind of at a bit of a, I'm not in a rush to do anything. And someone who views the YouTube channel, William, sort of said, could you do one, if you thought of doing the birds? And I thought, well, you kind of thought of doing the birds, not really. But I have thought of wanting to try writing a story in the first person rather than in the third person, by which I mean, you would say Laurie looked over there and saw this. In the first person, it would be I looked over there. So you're writing from the point of view entirely of a person rather than from someone else looking in and describing. So you can't, it's more difficult to describe surroundings, I suppose, because the person would have to describe them. I looked over there, the wall was white and it had 7 paintings on it. It made me feel such and such. It becomes less natural, I think, to write like that. But I wanted to try writing it. It's not my natural style of writing. And I'd never even played the birds at this point, to be perfectly honest. So I was going to write it as I don't know, maybe a diary entry or, something like that, a video recording, or, if you're reading this diary, birds have pecked me to death. It all started back in that kind of thing. And I was just sort of mulling over ideas before I started getting into playing the game to write it, which I tend to sort of do. I tend to sort of do it when I'm not doing anything that requires a lot of brain power or whatever. So, just household chores, I'll be thinking, oh, yeah, what about this? What about that? I thought maybe it could be good as somebody telling the story to somebody who's, the Melanie, it turned out to be Melanie has been to the grove. She was attacked by birds and she is telling someone the story rather than writing in a diary. And I thought, well, maybe she's been at this. There's been an incident. She's been arrested on, because she was there and involved in it, or questioned or given a statement or whatever. So maybe it's her talking to the police. I was this happened, whatever. And then once we'd decided that it was at the Groves, it was obviously going to be in Africa. I thought, well, maybe then the policeman is actually involved in it somehow, in as much as we're at the Groves. Would it be quite cool if the policeman was Inkanyamba, the other villain from the Groves, or would become Inkanyamba? I thought, yeah, that'd be quite an interesting way to do it. And then I had the idea that, Melanie, it would be a bit dull, and I wanted Melanie to be something else. So maybe Melanie was something else, which was the twist, if you like. So there's 2 twists. The first one is that the police captain is Inkanyamba. The second twist is that Melanie is actually more involved with what's going on at the Groves than she claims to be. And then it sort of came to me that both characters were kind of equal in importance, and almost at this point, the overarching thing is the fact that we've got Inkanyamba becoming Inkanyamba, or we're leading into the fact that we've got Inkanyamba coming up. But we've also got this thing that is bigger than just the birds. It's more the cave, and Melanie's role within that whole thing. And almost the story of the birds became kind of a background thing. It's just a way that these two characters have met. And what I'm trying to do is, and this links on well as the exact opposite of the Hans stories, where it was very brutal, it was very literal, it was very this goes on to there and Hans is doing this and we're following the game. And this, it comes from the perspective of more of, no, the game is actually the reason for the story. The story is the more important thing in this. So I started writing it like that. And then I thought, as I started writing it, I thought, this would be quite cool if I could do it just in dialogue exchange. So you've got two people in a room. Melanie's being interviewed by the police. The policeman is going to become Inkanyamba. Melanie is somehow involved with the cave. We want the audience, the readers, whatever, to know this. Can I do it just by dialogue? Can I literally have nothing referring to how Melanie was feeling, or Melanie was obviously trying to hide something, or Captain Ajo thought the woman was trying to hide something? Can't do that. Let's just go complete first person from both points of view, and let me try and do it in complete dialogue without anyone sort of telling you, the audience, what's happening. So this is the concept I had coming in. Written in the first person, final girl Melanie Brown is being interviewed by the police captain, who is or becomes Inkanyamba, ? In West Africa following the incident at the Groves. Told us what's happened type thing, Melanie turns out to be the Raven, who is part of the legend. Crows and rooks are killer birds, claiming artifacts back. The whole lore for the storybook is that people steal artifacts, the birds come down and kill the people, take the artifacts back. So that's the crows. Crows mainly because I painted them black, didn't really think about anything else than that. But obviously crows, rooks, ravens, jackdaws, all subspecies of the same thing. So the crows and the rooks are the killer birds, reclaiming the artifacts, while the raven, which turns out to be Melanie, is more subtle. So she's like a thief, like she'll go in, she'll take the artifacts without killing the people. The crows and the rooks will come in and just literally cause devastation. So Melanie comes in first, takes the items without any death or destruction. And I've got here notes. Melanie describes herself as a reclamation expert. So idea she's reclaiming the things that were stolen. The interview is off record, being conducted while they wait for the US ambassador. Melanie's obviously American. When the ambassador arrives, Melanie is asked to wait outside in the area, maybe an exercise yard, and when they come to get her, she is not there and a raven sits on the wall. So that's the reveal where we finally see that Melanie is part of the legend, has transformed into a raven. So that's what we've got a hint at all the way through. Also, are hinting at Inkanyamba all the way through. I've got some idea on dialogue here as well. The inspector uses a line from the law book about sitting in the groves or whatever it is. So the line from the actual law book from Inkanyamba is he sits there and says, I remember sitting here watching this. It's sort of like messed up Lion King, isn't it? One day, Simba, this will be all yours. So Inkanyamba remembers what it is in the official law book, and I ripped that line entirely out and stuck it in here. So that was your giveaway that this guy's Inkanyamba, because he's reciting what's in the law book. I've got Melanie specifically points out the difference between ravens and crows and rooks to give you a hint that she's, nobody should be that bothered about how much ravens are better than rooks or crows. Well, she is, because she's a raven, and she's not too fond of the crows because she feels that they're beneath her. There's an exchange about a person or a force being able to control the bills. Melanie responds saying it's as likely that the Groves could control a person. They both laugh. Captain questions Melanie why she's not injured. And I've got here, this is a specific line, you look like you've just stepped straight off Rodeo Avenue. And obviously I know it's 5th Avenue and Rodeo Drive. And that's just a little thing that I wanted to put in that I thought might be quite amusing. The difference in cultures between the two. And I've got some notes on crows and rooks, which cherry picked to highlight the difference between the two. And I've got here, I looked into Inkanyamba, who's a serpent spirit of South Africa. So Ajo's name, I had Le Serp, which could be French, or Nyoka, which was Swahili, or Ajo, which was Yoruba. Yoruba spoken in West Africa, so I went for Ajo as the character, which is a reference to the serpent spirit, which is a reference back to Inkanyamba, if you want to follow it that deeply or not. And what I was trying to do, obviously, by writing this, Inkanyamba knew that there was something going on, and he was changing in somehow. He knew that the Groves were responsible for it because he'd been having dreams. He wanted to question Melanie to find out what the hell's going on. Does she know something that could help him understand what's happening to him? He can't say that to her because he'd just sound like a complete and utter lunatic. Melanie knows that something's going on with Inkanyamba. Melanie's cool as a cucumber. She is in complete control of this situation. I don't know why she's there. I think maybe she's gone there because she's been to the Groves as part of her work for the cave. She sensed the Groves are waking up. She sensed that they've called this champion. I think she's gone specifically, let herself be arrested, taken to the police station, so she can start to size up Ajo as Inkanyamba as an avenging force for the Groves. So I think she's trying to get the measure of him, but I wanted her in complete control, almost teasing him, if you like, saying, I know what's happening, I know you know what's happening, but you can't ask me about it because you sound silly, and because you know that, you also know that I'm not telling the truth, but I'm not telling you. I wanted a lot hidden to come across in the dialogue that they spoke to each other. So it's very, very difficult to write. And when I first wrote it, I then read it to my other half, and I said, did you get this? Did you get this? Did this make any sense? It was okay as a story, but that didn't really make any sense to there. That bit didn't make sense in context to that. I didn't get that from that. So I went through it, and I had to rewrite almost the entire thing. Exactly the same sort of format, but just changing what people said slightly. And one of the big things was the beginning sort of introduction, will bring terror from above. I just added 2 lines to that that's literally told you a lot of what was going on. I think it's sort of 6 or 7 lines, and it's sort of like, somebody goes in, takes some stuff, these birds come and get them. You don't need to worry about that. I've just told you that's what's happening. Let's try and highlight what else is going on. So I'm going to play it now, and we'll see how that sort of came across, and what I was trying to achieve by it. And it's short, and I think it works well being short as well. I didn't mind it being short at all. 15 minutes, I think this comes in at. In South America there is a cave that will show you your heart's desires. But you must not touch them, must not take them. For in that cave there is a curse so old that it cannot be understood by any alive. A curse that will unleash a force to reclaim that which has been taken. In modern tongue, that curse reads, mischief below will bring terror from above. So that was literally just telling you that the reason the birds are there is because somebody's stolen something and they have come to reclaim it. And we'll start off, and again, no... controversial, maybe. I used tried a West or African accent.
Miss Brown, Melody.
Simply
Can you please take a seat?
To differentiate between the 2 characters, because it was all dialogue.
Of course not.
So I wanted to try the accent, and it's quite a controversial thing for me to do this. I don't know how it went down. I thought it was right. I wasn't trying to cause any offence, obviously.
You cannot hold me.
And I was also trying to write Ajo as a strong, capable character as well.
They are sending a representative.
So we're just saying
no documentation on you.
They've
Due
arrived.
to the circumstances, we cannot let
They're in
you
a
leave
room
until the embassy man arrives.
We're just waiting for the embassy man.
You are not under arrest.
You're not under arrest.
Then why are you here, Captain Ajo?
So Melanie's now saying,
Miss Brown,
why are you doing it?
Melanie.
She knows exactly why he's here.
Of course, Melanie. This has been a very disturbing incident for my country.
So she's almost, I think,
there
beginning to
and
play
witnessed it
games
firsthand.
already.
Witnesses say that you saved many people. I would like you to tell me what happened, to help me understand. I already gave a statement. Of course, yes, but I would like you to tell me, just while we wait for the embassy man to arrive. You have a personal interest in the matter?
So she's now sort of
No, of course not.
She's
just
almost
curious.
I think
This
I'm trying
place
to
where
say
the
that she's
incident occurred
telling
is a
him
very
that she
sacred
knows
place to my
something.
people.
Why
It
are you
has
so
many
interested in
mysteries.
it?
And these
And
mysteries are of interest
she's
to you,
almost
Captain.
teasing him
Yes.
I think. And I
It
think
says here
Melanie
that you are
is
a reclamation
very...
specialist.
The more I think about
What is
Melanie as a
this?
character, I think she's
It
probably
means I find things.
very, very powerful
Old
in some
things,
way. Some
and
way
return
linked to
them
the
to as they
cave in
once
South
were.
America. And this is going
And
to
this
come
is
back
why you're
into
in
the
West
overall
Africa,
story that I've
to
been
find
thinking
these
about as well.
old things.
So she's
Partly,
a reclamation
But
expert.
I'm also here on vacation. And this is why you're at the sacred groves. That is correct. The brochure in the hotel made it look very
And
inviting.
Ajo's now becoming a little bit
The
too
brochure is an
angry.
abomination. The
There's
grove
a
should
flash
not
of
be a tourist
Inkanyamba coming
attraction.
through in him.
Are you okay, Captain? You seem a little upset. Sorry, I do not know what
And
came
Melanie
over
doesn't
me.
break a sweat through
I've
the
not been
entire
sleeping well recently.
conversation in
It
my
is
head.
just
Whether
that
this
the
comes
groves are
across
a
or not, I
sacred
don't know.
place to my
She
people.
doesn't bat an
I
eyelid
remember
at
meditating
anything.
there as a child, sitting at the feet of great trees and soaking in the
That's-
peace of the place.
This is the line
Now it is
from
a tourist
the law book.
attraction.
And
I'm
he's
sorry.
angry.
Would you please be
He's
so kind as to tell
angry
me what happened?
because the Groves is a
Well,
tourist
I
attraction.
don't really know where to start.
So we're
Perhaps you
hinting
could just
now
start
that...
at the beginning when you arrived at
Well,
the
I think we've
groves.
just told you. If you've got any
Well, I
knowledge
arrived
of the
to find
law
it was
book,
family day at the
you will
groves.
now know that
Quite ironic
he
as
is
I'm travelling alone,
Inkanyamba, or
don't you
will
think?
become.
The sun was beating
If you
down.
haven't, never
Most of
played
the
the
other
game before,
visitors
just
had
listened to
wandered
the
off towards
story, you
attraction.
still perhaps know
So
that
I
there's
decided
something
to head
going on.
towards the centre of the
At the
park
end,
where
the
it was
dream
quieter.
sequence,
As I
the
walked,
dream
I could already see
sequence
them.
sort of fills that bit in,
See
I
what,
think.
Miss Melanie? The birds, Captain. Rooks, as black as night. A cloud
So into the
of them
gameplay.
congregate.
And it was quite tame
Rooks.
with me, this game.
This is most concerning.
Barring
the
the
rook is not found in
spawning
this
of the
part of
birds.
wood. I assure you, they were rooks.
And also, you'll
I think
notice
it
that
is
I
very difficult
rescue
to tell the
people at the Lost and
difference
Found.
between
It's
this
just a
kind of
mistake.
bird.
I got
How
carried
can you
away
be
when I
sure
was
that they
playing
were
and thought it
rooks
was an exit.
and
I don't
maybe
know why.
not ravens?
It's nowhere near an exit.
Captain, rooks are aggressive, dishevelled, boisterous creatures.
And now Melanie's
Noisy
getting a
and
little bit
wary.
defensive
They travel
about
in
the
groups
fact
symbolising death and trickery.
that
They are
how
bad
how
omens.
dare somebody confuse a
The raven is
raven
more
with a
majestic,
rook.
clever,
Raven's
solitary.
much more
The raven
clever,
symbolises
solitary.
wisdom and
Rooks are
transformation.
thugs.
Some people say the raven is a bridge between the spirit world and the living world.
And she's
You
also
believe in
now just
transformation,
probing,
Captain?
using
I do
it
not
to
think I
probe
know what you mean.
Inkanyamba about
No?
a bridge between
No.
the spirit world,
You seem to know a lot about
which
birds,
a raven
Miss
is a
Melanie.
symbol of that.
Ah, yes, of course. Melanie.
So,
Just a
and
hobby of mine.
Inkanyamba's becoming a
Would you
little
like me
bit
to continue?
defensive, because so that
Of
she's
course,
sort of telling
yes.
him, I know
As I walked through the site, there seemed to be
about
more of
you.
them. Then the noise started. Incessant
not
cawing.
making it
They were
obvious.
sitting, watching, talking. The
And then
heat
she
began
starts
to rise.
recounting
Uncomfortable.
the story.
The type of heat that starts to strangle you. I needed
And again,
some
this is more the
Luckily, I
first
was right in
person
the
thing
heart
as
of the
she's
grove.
describing her.
A commotion caught my ear.
Perhaps could have done
Hurriedly,
better with
I
this,
headed
because
towards the burial ground,
I
where
didn't
there was a young
find it
woman with a
very
child,
easy
a
to
boy,
write.
around 10 or 11
I don't
years
have
old,
much
I would
practice,
say.
I suppose. I don't have much
The
practice
rooks were
writing
beginning
anything.
to gather
But
nearby.
first
They
time I've ever
just
tried
sat,
writing
staring
in
at
the
child,
first person.
cawing in their raucous tone,
It's
almost
different.
taunting.
It's very different to
The child was
describe
crying.
things from a
We
person's
hurried
point
back
of view.
towards the sacred shrine, where a couple was sitting, just staring at the gathering of the birds around them. This is where I first felt your groves, Captain.
And that's Hallowed
What
Ground
do you
was
mean,
the event
felt
card.
them? This is a sacred spot for you.
So
Yes, of course.
weave that in a
The
little
shrine
bit.
is the most holy of places. It is hallowed ground.
Hallowed Ground.
I felt it, Captain. I felt the hallowed ground. The power seemed to...
So Inkanyamba, I'm trying to...
You are most fortunate
what
to be
questions
blessed.
he's asking, he's trying to do it in
I
the
don't think
guise
so,
of trying to
Captain.
find out what's going
I
on,
felt
but
the Groves
really
searching
he's trying
for
to find
something.
out what she knows
Someone.
about the Groves.
What do you mean
is
searching?
speaking to
How
me?
are they searching?
Tell me how they're
Maybe
doing
you could
this.
tell me that is your sacred
Because
place,
he's
after all.
frustrated. He knows
No.
that something's happening
No,
to him,
I do not know.
but he doesn't.
The couple at the shrine would not leave. They
Can't
were taking
tell her.
photographs of the rooks as more arrived. Almost
Photographs.
beginning to swarm.
Angry.
Photographs. They should not be doing this.
Put
This
on
is
my
blasphemy.
tribal outfit and slay the lot of
It was
you.
impossible to see where they were coming from, the rooks. I left the couple and took the mother and child to the lost and found. This is when they
Then we have a
started gathering in
little
numbers,
sort of
black and menacing.
a little fight
Sounds
with the rook.
louder, the infernal cawing, and they began to organise.
And I wanted to just sort of
Organise. Impossible.
start
Oh, it's
the
possible,
impression
Captain.
that something else
They
is
began
going
to
on.
form what I can only describe as a bird wall.
And
Intricate and
Melanie,
deadly, blocking the exits.
in essence, turns into
We
a
ran.
bird, or can
I
turn
collected
into a
all the
bird at
people
will,
around me and
I
brought
think
them
is
back
the
to
thing.
Lost and Found office.
And we
Then
sort of
got
go,
out of there. Impossible. You said there was this bird wall. I had
cannot.
to kill one, Captain.
And she
One
said, well,
for
how
both.
did you kill it? Well,
With what?
she's not going to
How
say, I
did you
turned
kill
into a
it?
bird and pecked it to
Quite
death. We had a
simple,
fight.
really.
No, I hit it with
I
my
hit it
handbag.
with
You
my
haven't got a handbag.
Your handbag?
Well, it comes in
Yes,
later.
Captain.
'Cause
It's heavy.
So-
I carry a lot of things. And
Samuel
how did you get them out?
Ejo
The lost and
now
found has no exit.
knows that Melanie
Oh, but
is
it does,
lying.
Captain.
Doesn't
You
really
just don't know
care.
it. There are
He
many
confronts her at
mysteries
the
at
end.
Groves.
And
Surely
she's
you
like,
should know that. Yes, but this
So
does
they
not
both
make any
know that.
sense.
each other are telling the
And if
truth. So this was
killer
difficulty
birds
in
are
writing
something
it.
to descend
And
on
I
your
think I did
holy
all
site
right.
does make sense.
I think I did all right
Of
with this.
course, no. The air was heavy with them now. The sky almost becoming black. I headed through your holy groves, and this is where it happened.
Board moves about a bit,
Well,
doesn't
what
it? That's
It was
a
like
camera
the groves
issue.
were talking to me. Wait, what do you mean talking to you? Do you mean commanding you in your
Commanding
head,
you.
as if you were?
How are
in
they
a
doing?
dream?
So he's asking her,
No,
how are they
not like
coming?
that.
How are they
More
talking
of a
to you?
feeling.
Is it
I
like
could
in a
feel
dream?
their wrath
Because
within
that's what's
me,
happening to me.
holding
Can't
me
you
back,
see?
feeling my
Tell
fear.
me how it's happening.
Groves are angry, Captain. I felt this.
And
They
so
have a
she's,
right to be angry.
and
People,
he's now
tourists,
sympathising with the
they
Grove.
should
You're
not
sort of
be at
getting
this
the
place.
impression, hopefully, that
Maybe not. But like I
he's
said
like,
before,
you know,
they're
beginning to
searching. I felt it.
just to sympathise
And what
or
are they searching
empathise
for,
with the
Miss
Groves. They're
Melanie?
telling him he's
What
becoming
is it
their
the Groves
champion.
want?
What
The
do
rest
they
of the
want?
visitors were easy
She doesn't
comments to
answer.
leave. The
Sort of
birds were trying
smiles
to
at
get
him.
into the groundskeeper
Smiles at
shed,
him, I imagine.
smashing against the wooden doors.
So we've got the
I
first
had to
special
dodge them
victim,
as I grabbed the wooden
which
door.
is
Again, I had to fight the
was it the
bird
second
wall,
special
swing another
victim
two as they
that
scratched
was
and
Alfred
pecked me.
Jones, Alfred
Then,
Hitchcock,
as I headed towards
Indiana
the welcome
Jones,
centre, I heard the
raiding
screaming.
caves and summoning
A young woman,
birds.
pretty little thing, was hysterical.
And we're sort
Her
of flying
husband lay
through
dead
the
on
actual
floor,
game
covered in
now.
birds, his eyes missing. And a man,
Not
an
particularly
American, I believe,
violent either,
just
this.
stood there, wide-eyed.
So she now
Yes, this man,
sidles
this
up to
American.
Alfred Jones,
His name is
swipes
Alfred
the
Jones.
thing
We
that
have
he'd
spoken
taken
to him,
from
and to this woman.
the cave,
The woman says the birds swarmed at the American.
and the birds,
She
the
says her
crows,
husband
the
tried to
rooks,
help him, and this
I
is
think
when
they
they
are,
attacked.
know that
Dozens of them,
she's
she says,
reclaimed the
whipping
item,
at her
so
husband.
they're
She
off
is most
when they
traumatised.
finish, because she's done the job,
It
their
would seem
job
they were
for them.
tired of waiting. By this time the birds were legion. They'd begun reaching a critical mass. There'd soon be nothing to stop them. Except you, it seems, Miss Brown. Melanie.
No.
Stop them. No, I
Me,
didn't stop them.
me,
We
I
simply
didn't stop
ran.
them.
But when you had left with this American,
So now
the birds
he's sort of
disappeared.
like saying, "I know you're not telling
So
the
it would seem,
truth.
Captain.
I know you're."
This man, this American, Alfred Jones, do you know him? No.
No, I've never seen him before in
It
my
is just
entire
that
life.
in his statement,
He said
he
you were
it
looking
was
for him.
as if you were searching
Well, I was
for
looking
him.
for him because I'm a
was
mystical
not.
agent of a cave
Okay.
come to take back
When
the
this
thing
man,
that he
this
stole.
Alfred Jones, was attacked by the birds, before the husband came to help him, he says that they did not hurt him. He says that it was as if they were looking for something.
So the birds are flapping
Does this
over him
make
trying
any
to
sense to you?
take back the item
No,
that he
Captain.
stole.
It does not. Okay.
They didn't attack him.
Thank you, Miss Brown. Melanie. Melanie, yes.
And
It's
again,
a
some of the sort
fascinating
of,
story. And of course,
you know,
this is
I like
backed
the
up by
interaction
testimony
between these
of the
two.
other people
Miss
you
Brown,
have seen.
Melanie. Oh, of course, sorry,
Of
Melanie.
course.
Yes.
But there are some things
She's
that concern
kind
me.
of flirting with him,
And
I
what are
think,
they,
a little bit.
Captain? Well, first, the people you helped at the Lost and Found. They all remember you helping them.
So again,
But they cannot remember anything.
I'm now going to
in
poke
detail.
some holes in your
No one
story.
can remember your fight with the
They
birds.
can't
They say
remember.
that it is as if the
They
birds were
can't
fighting
remember her
amongst
fighting with the
themselves.
birds. So
Does this make
what I'm
any
trying to do
sense?
now is say to the audience,
People see strange
you might
things when
think
they're under
that
stress, Captain. I think you
I'm now
would
leading up to
understand
the
that.
twist, I suppose, at
What
the
do you
end,
mean?
which
In your job?
wasn't
I expect
maybe
you deal
obvious
with a lot
until
of
the end,
emotional people.
hopefully.
Oh, of course, yes. The other thing is, you said that you have hit the birds with your
You've
handbag
hit the birds with your
to
handbag.
kill them.
You don't
And yet
have
you
a
do
handbag.
not have a handbag. I guess I
No.
lost it, Captain. Of course.
It's like Columbo,
And you
isn't
said
it?
that you have fought with these
Just one
birds,
more
these
thing.
rooks, in order to get the people
And this
out
is
of
where
the park.
there's nothing.
Yes.
You're not
Well,
injured.
I noticed
because
that
I
you
can
have
turn
no
into a
injuries,
bird, Captain.
and your clothing is not damaged. It looks as if you have just walked straight off your Rodeo Avenue. Just lucky, I guess.
Just lucky.
Lucky. Yes, of course.
As if I...
Tell me, Melanie,
And then
do
he
you think it may
almost
be possible that there is something
confronts her
controlling these
and
birds?
says, "Is there
Some
something
kind of
controlling
magical
them?
power?
Is there a magical power controlling these
suggesting that
birds?
some
Is
kind
the
of
same
power was
thing?
controlling
Is there
the birds?
is there some kind of similarity
Captain,
between
that
these
sounds as
birds
likely as your sacred
and
groves
what's
being
happening
able
to
to
me?" And
control
she's
the
like,
person
"Shit,
through
that
their
doesn't
belly.
sound very likely.
Do you
That'd be
believe
like
that,
the groves
Captain?
controlling you, Captain."
No,
Well, no,
of
that's
course not.
silly. As if that could
And yet,
happen.
here
Oh.
we are.
And then she's sort of like, "Yeah, I know what's going on.
Hello. Yes, of course, thank you.
I've come. I've
Well,
sized
Miss
you up,
Melanie,
and I'm
your
off
embassy
now."
man is here. It has been a fascinating story.
And then obviously
I will go and fetch the embassy
The
man.
embassy
and then
man
you can go.
comes
you,
in and says, "Well,
Do you think it would be possible?
this
for
is
me to
probably
wait
my
outside?
best American. I don't know.
Awfully hot in
For me, this sounds okay as
Of course,
American
I'm waiting
accent.
the exercise yard.
To an American,
Thank
I don't
you.
know if it
My
would. I
belongings?
guess it's southern. I guess it's
Here you
kind
are,
of southern.
a
subtle
silver
southern.
watch. It would seem that you travel
Well,
light,
there.
Miss Melanie. Sentimental value, Captain.
So again, for
It
accent's
is
point of
also
view, it's
interesting
difficult for
that
me.
this
'Cause
American man,
obviously,
Alfred Jones, has
listening
reported
to
that
this
his
as
watch is missing.
an African or
He
an
seems very
American,
upset
you'll be
at
able to
this.
say, "Well, I can tell
Almost
that's an
frantic.
American accent, but it's off or it's
Captain,
completely different or it's a
I've travelled
mishmash
many
or stuff stuff like
in
this.
world and seen
But
many
from
things. Did you know that in
a
South
narration
America
point of view, I'm
there's
just
a resort?
trying to tell you
Some
that
of your
these are
groves in
different
many ways.
characters speaking. My normal
This site
voice
has
is
a
for Melody,
legend.
my
A legend that
accent
says it will send
of one
emissaries
sort
to
is
bring
for
down
Samuel, and
terrible
my
wrath
accent
on
of other
those that
sort
defile and
is for
steal
the
from it.
American. So
Emissaries
there's
of
just
death.
emissaries of
Yes,
death.
Captain. But the legend also says that there is
So
a
she's
balance,
now saying about
and
the
before
legend,
wrath, there is a
and she's
chance
almost
that there
saying
can be atonement. A second emissary
a
with a
second
chance to
emissary,
right the
which just
wrong
happens to
without
be me,
bloodshed
which
is
I just made
established.
up for the story.
Transformation, Captain.
But she's sort of
Transformation
telling
to
him,
what?
you are turning
Now,
into
you
something,
don't
but
want to
it's
keep the ambassador's
almost what I'm
representative waiting,
I'm
do
trying to
you?
say is it's almost
If
up
there's
to
nothing
you
else.
how you handle it.
Of
Transformation
course,
to what,
if you
Captain?
step
Will
this
you
way,
become the
I will
Raven and
escort
do
the
it
embassy
subtly
man
with some kind of, gentleness, or will you
Well,
become the
Captain
crows,
Joel,
the
you
rooks,
say that
and
this person was found
obliterates
after
everything?
that business at the Sacred Groves, and claims to be an American citizen, going by the name of Melanie Brown? That is correct, sir. Well, the thing is, Captain, we have no record of a Melanie Brown in the country. Perhaps you have made a mistake, sir. Now, I can assure you that the United States Embassy does not make mistakes,
son.
Well, perhaps you can discuss this with
I
her
love that line.
yourself. She is waiting for you through here
So,
in the exercise yard.
we don't have a Melanie Brown in the country.
Well then,
That's okay.
where is she,
wait a
son?
minute, she's gone.
I do not understand.
God, she was just
here.
here. Where on earth could she gone?
Well, she ain't here now, is she? Kind of goddamn show you running here,
Kind
boy.
of goddamn show
What
you
in the
running
Sam
here,
hell is
boy.
that bird up there? Damn thing looks like a crow.
And I
Sir,
heard Samuel's like,
I believe that is actually
it's a
a
raven.
raven.
And she's off. See you later. And then we just have a little ending of Samuel getting home from work, and just to lead into the next story, really, which is obviously going to be about Inkanyamba. So he's having a little snooze, he's gone to sleep, and his dreams are coming back, and he's dreaming.
Do you believe in transformation, Captain?
And he's
Emissaries of death. No, we have.
it's all coming back to him.
Between the spirit
And then you
world
can
and
hear
sea. No,
you can hear the groves in the background telling him, commanding
no
him.
transformation, Captain.
Avengers.
Emissaries of death. No, but
And he's trying to fight it.
Avengers. Inkanyamba. No.
Ah, there we go. Now, I like that one. A lot of it because I think I did quite a good job in trying to put across what I was trying to put across. And I think I really liked both the characters. And just doing the dialogue between the two gave me a good impression of which characters, of what sort of people they were. And what it did was, by having Melanie as the Raven, somehow linked back to the cave in South America, and having Inkanyamba as the groves and the link between them two, they're very sort of similar characters, if you like, obviously different ways, but they're both representatives or avengers for, or working for this ancient supernatural power, either in the South American cave or the groves in Africa. And I think that's going to tie back in somewhere. And I think Melanie is just cool as a cucumber, and is perhaps probably the strongest thing you're ever going to see, the most powerful thing you're ever going to see in any of the stories. And I think that she's in that neutral type territory. I'm not sure she's a good guy. I'm not sure she's a bad guy. I think perhaps she just is. And this is going to go on to 2 more sequels. One being, obviously the next one being Inkanyamba becoming Inkanyamba, and the third one being another confrontation between Melanie and Inkanyamba. And that, I think, will determine Melanie's role in stories going forward. So anyway, that was Terror Above the Groves, and thanks again for watching, and hopefully see you all soon. Cheers guys, bye.